Hello everyone, it is me, 80 Summer 44 Extra, and today we're going to be ranking all the Spider-Man movies. Brand new day is officially out in theaters, and I thought it would be fitting that we do an update of rankings for this. Of course, if you guys know my channel, I actually did a Spider-Man rankings video in the past. Obviously, a few of my opinions have changed, which is why I'm doing an updated one and everything like that. This will be a spoiler-filled video, by the way. I'll be spoiling pretty much all 11 of the movies. And yeah, I'm also wearing a Spider-Man shirt as well. Pretty cool spider I got from Amazon, and yeah, I think it's really good. So yeah, overall, we're gonna go ahead and do this, guys, and stay tuned. Where am I gonna rank the new movie, Brand New Day? Is it gonna be imperfect? Is it gonna be an average? You'll have to wait and find out. All right. So if you're new around here, guys, hit the like button, guys, and hit the subscribe button. And we have our 5 tiers right here, guys. We got perfect, we got amazing, we got great, we got good, we got average. So we have 11 movies to rank, and we got 5 tiers. So let's go ahead and do this. Starting with number 11. 11th place. The worst Spider-Man movie is Amazing Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is just not a good movie. While I do think there's some great action sequences, and I think the action sequence in particular involving Rhino was pretty fun, and I do like the sequence with Electro, and while I do think the sequence at the end, him battling Harry was cool, overall, this is a confusing plot to follow. This movie is just way too many plots going on at the same time. You have Rhino that's there at the beginning of the movie, which doesn't make sense. Like, okay, Rhino's there at the beginning, and then he just vanishes for like all the entirety of the movie, and then comes to the very end when like this little kid is trying to battle him, and then obviously Spider-Man comes out and says, hey, let me take like, what was the point of Rhino? Like, okay, I get it. Rhino was cool. It was a great villain. But why is he there just the beginning and just the end? It just doesn't make sense. You have Electro, who is essentially the Riddler from Batman. He falls into electricity and gets himself to become electricity and fixes his teeth and becomes this guy that can like electrocute people at a will. I mean, it's just crazy insanity there. And then you obviously have Harry Osborn that wants to get Spider-Man's blood, so he doesn't die the same way as father. But the thing is, his father took several years. It took a long time to die. And that how does getting someone's blood make you not die? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, it's really not a great plot whatsoever, and I just feel like the only saving grace of this movie is the action sequences and the chemistry between Spider-Man and Gwen. And let's talk about Gwen, guys. Because I know a lot of people are sad about how Gwen died at the end, and yes, it was very tragic, very sad. But I'm gonna be real with you guys. I didn't like Gwen's character. And I understand that they were trying to make Gwen to be different from MJ. I understand that they wanted to have Gwen be this helper to Spider-Man and be like, you know what, I'm going to help Spider-Man at all cost and be the smart lady, right? They didn't want to make her like a damsel in distress like MJ was in the trilogy. I get that. But at least make her character competent. At least make her character smart. I understand they gave her a personification that she's this valedictorian. She wants to study abroad and everything like that. She wants to study in London. But then she's doing really stupid stuff. As valedictorian, why are you grabbing at a bar when there's electricity battle going on? Why are you going to the final confrontation against Harry with literally no experience whatsoever? And you say, you know what? It's my choice. I can make my own decisions. It's just so stupid. And they try to make me feel bad. But in reality, I just didn't feel bad. I just didn't. And that is the harsh thing, is that when the heroine is you don't have sympathy for, it just doesn't look good. So overall, it's a mixed bag. This movie is just mediocre, and I'm sorry, this is average. Moving on, we have here, it is Spider-Man Away From Home. And for me, guys, this movie is also average as well. Like, this movie just sucks. The whole plot of Iron Man being in the movie is just so weird. It's like, Iron Man's not even in this movie. And yet, it almost feels like this is an Iron Man movie. It doesn't feel like a Spider-Man movie. It feels like an Iron Man movie. And it's just so mind-boggling to me is that I get it. I understand. Iron Man was so huge for Peter Parker. He was Peter Parker's role model. He was the guy that, you know, Iron Man gave him, like, everything. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't be the entire movie. It shouldn't be the entire movie. And why is the villain's character motivation based on what Iron Man did? Why is everything connected to Iron Man? It just doesn't make sense to me. This movie is just really confusing. The action sequence there in the end, the final confrontation when he battles Mysterio on his own was really cool. It was great to see that he finally got mature enough to do his own decisions and to actually make the right decision. And, you know, at the end. And I do like the fact that the movie does live off a cliffhanger where everyone knows he's Peter Parker. And that was pretty cool to see. That was great. And that obviously leads to No Way Home, which we'll obviously discuss later. But yeah, I mean, overall, I just think this movie just really sucks in that sense. And like the plot is just really confusing. It just doesn't make sense. And a lot of the things that happen in this movie just shouldn't happen, in my opinion. So For that reason, I'm putting this in the average tier. Next up we have here, it is Amazing Spider-Man, and for me, this is essentially the rehash of the Sam Raimi's first movie, and I just feel like this movie just doesn't make sense. You make a dark version of Spider-Man, when Spider-Man isn't a dark character. This guy is a bright color. I mean, look at his costume, for crying out loud. It's this bright red color and blue, and it's so, like, bright, and you're making it to, like, a dark superhero. You're almost essentially trying to turn him into Batman. It just doesn't make sense to me. And overall, I just feel like this movie sucks from that perspective. And then you have the whole villain. The villain itself, the Lizard. While I think the Lizard is a great concept, and I do think the battle sequence, him and Lizard was confrontation and the school was incredible, that his character, his motivation is to grow back his arm. Okay, which makes sense. That's a reasonable expectation from Dr. Curtis Connors. Then he decides to make everyone into lizards. And I'm like, oh my geez, the writing here is so atrocious. Why is the villain trying to make everyone into lizards? It's so mind-boggling to me. And yeah, I just feel like this movie it's just a poor job of that. And then you have Captain Stacy, Gwen's dad, telling Peter at the end, don't be with Gwen. And then guess what? He listens to it, and is like, you know what? Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna be with Gwen. Like, that's like, is this how the movie's gonna really end? I just don't know. I just feel like this movie is just a mixed bag for me. And I just feel like, for me, this just doesn't really work well for me. I think the only saving grace for the movie, once again, is the chemistry between Gwen and Spider-Man. I think they do a great job together, and I do think there's some good, decent action sequences here and there. But overall, it's a mixed bag, and yeah, I'm putting this one in the average tier. So now we're going to move on to the good movies. These movies I consider from this point on are good. And that is Spider-Man 3. And I know you guys are going to be go in the comments and say, how are you putting Spider-Man 3 in the good tier? This movie sucks. And yes, this movie does have its flaws, and I will criticize for it. But I still think there are some decent sequences in this movie. And I still feel like this movie gets overhated. And yes, I understand that most people, don't like this movie for some obvious reasons. We have him that's literally dancing as the symbiote. I mean, that was one of the worst scenes ever in the trilogy. But I still think there's some great scenes in this movie. I still think Sandman's an incredible villain. I think Harry is a great character arc. He finally he decides to kill Peter Parker because he wants to avenge his father, and then to realize that he actually killed himself. And I just thought it was really cool that, Harry decided to join up with Spider-Man in the end to battle the Sandman and the Venom. And while I do think the Venom wasn't the best part of this movie, I still think the Venom concept was cool. It was still cool to see how they did Venom. I wish they could have done things a little differently, but I do feel like Venom wasn't that bad. And it does feel like a Spider movie than day. It feels like every character has a purpose. And while there's a bit too many extra characters, like for me, like Eddie, and then there's another female character, I forgot her name, that shouldn't be there, in my opinion. And then, maybe some love triangle drama that shouldn't really be there, to be quite frankly honest with you. I still feel like this movie is still good. And I still think there's some great redeemable scenes. I think him battling Harry Osborn at the beginning of the movie was kind of cool. And yeah, overall, I still think it's a good movie. I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. And so yeah. Next up it is Spider-Man Homecoming. And for me, it was finally great to see the live-action Spider-Man. And finally, one that didn't have an origin story. And I just feel like Tom Holland does a great job personifying that kid of Spider-Man. And it was great to see a kid play as Spider-Man. It was great to see. I also like the fact that how he went through his origin story was really cool, that we didn't have to go through all of that again. He got bit by a spider and all that. We didn't have to go through that. And I think the villain was really cool here. The Vulture, I thought it was a great concept of villain. And his motivations were clear. He just wanted to help his family, make some money, and that's what he did. And I felt like it was really cool how they connected him and Peter Parker by being that female character's dad. And I thought that was a really cool twist in that, you know what, he can actually relate to. And it was really cool to see how it all transpired and everything. And I thought that was really cool to see. And I thought this one was great. Ned and MJ being the supporting characters, I thought they did their job as well. And I think overall this movie is passable. While I do think it's not as good as others, we're going to talk about later, I still think it's a good, passable movie. And I think it's still good. So now, we're going to move on to the great movie. And from this point on, this is great. So this is where I'm going to put Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah. I thought this movie was amazing. The fact that we got 3 Spider-Mans together at the same time was amazing to see. And I was so happy to see Andrew Garfield. Because I feel like Andrew Garfield got so much criticism for the two Spider-Man movies he did. And I felt like he did his job. It's just the plot, it's just the Mark Webb and his director were so stupid. I just feel like he did the best he could with a limited role. And I thought he did excellent here, being that character. And I also really liked the fact that he was able to save MJ in the end when he couldn't do with Gwen. I thought it was really cool to see. And obviously, Tobey Maguire back on the big stage. My personal favorite OG Spider-Man. I thought it was incredible to see. And it was great to see some of the villains come back here, like, what is it called? Dr. Octavius here. Then you got the Green Goblin. I mean, it was so good to see Green Goblin. And Willem Dafoe, of course, was amazing as well. And, his aunt died in this movie because of him. He didn't listen to him. He didn't listen to her, and he pays the price in this movie. He goes through that, and overall, I just think it was a really cool concept. I just thought it was really well executed. While I do think the first half of this movie is a bit stupid, the second half though is incredible to see. And Doctor Strange as well casting that spell, and I thought it was great for that regard. So now we're gonna move on. So we just did 11th, 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th. We're now moving on 5th place. And 5th place I have, it is Brand New Day. I think Brand New Day is the best Spider-Man movie. And what I really like of this movie is that Spider-Man feels like Spider-Man. Because in the previous 3 films, it feels like he was kind of carried by other people. This one, though, it feels like he's doing everything himself. And he's going through that process by having to re-establish his friendships with Ned and MJ. Because obviously, as you guys remember, at the end of No Way Home, he cast a spell so that everyone forgot who he is. He had to start from brand or over. And I thought it was incredible. See, it was also great to see the Hulk in this movie, the Punisher as well. It was really cool to see. I thought overall it was still great. And then the big reveal as Jean, that's the main villain. And I thought it was really cool how they had her as a villain and the other two, and that she was a surprise villain. And I thought it was really crazy how the two were able to relate that his aunt died, and then she saw her own sister got killed. That being said, I still feel like the biggest issue with this movie is the villain, and I just feel like as much as we try to vibe with this villain, they try to make us like her, she just did a lot of bad stuff. And it's really hard to forgive her. And I thought the sequence with Spider-Man's fighting the Handman, incredible scene. And overall, I think this movie is great for that sense, and I do think it's a fitting end to this series that we're having. I mean, the fact that we got 4 Spider-Man movies is insane in a series. I never thought I would see that ever in my life, and here we are. So, I think it's a great movie. Just the ending, not the best. I think they could have done the ending a bit better, but overall, still a quality film, nonetheless. Now move to the top 4. And 4th place I'm going to have here, it is Across the Spider-Verse. I think Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is basically a continuation into the Spider-Verse, and I thought it was really cool to see. The only thing I'm going to bring this movie down is that I do feel like this movie is a bit slow, not as interesting as the dynamic as the first movie, and I think the pace in this movie is kind of what brings this movie down. But the creativity level, him seeing all the different Spider-Man's movie, and have everyone telling him you should make your, having to have his father get killed and everything, and then he's like, you know what, I'm gonna make my own decision. I don't want you guys to make it for me. And I thought it was really cool to see Miles Morales make that decision. And I think overall it's still a great movie nonetheless. And I'm putting this one in the top of great. I was really tempted to put amazing, but I'm gonna hold off and not put amazing there. I'm gonna just put it in the great tier. Now top 3 for me, Into the Spider-Verse, incredible. It's an amazing film. I love this movie so much. Him battling Pinkman was incredible, and I thought it was really cool to see how he did it. And I just think overall it was a great animation film, great to see, and I thought Miles Morales was an incredible superhero, and I just love the fact that the Spider-Man songs were amazing. I mean, Sunflower is a song I'm still playing to this day, guys. It's just that iconic. Still a great movie, still an amazing movie nonetheless, and I think it's fantastic. I love this movie so much. Top 2, 2nd place, I have, it is the OG Spider-Man movie, guys, and I think this movie incredible. What Sam Raimi did for this first movie is establish Peter Parker, Spider-Man, having to be with MJ. It's great to see. And I just love the way this movie's going through. Like, he has to fight this bully. He has to win this wrestling contest. Then he has to fight Green Goblin. And the Green Goblin actually being Harry's dad was a revelation to him. And the scene in Times Square Mall, was incredible. And while I do think the movie, obviously, you can maybe say has some of the scenes haven't looked the best and it's kind of aged badly, you can say. Some of the designs. This movie's still great. And we have to keep in perspective. This movie came out 2000. This movie's been out for a long time. That movie came out literally the beginning of the century. And this movie still holds well to the end. The final confrontation scene was brilliant. And yeah, overall, amazing movie. Top notch. But for me, guys, my absolute favorite, and if you guys know me by now, I've said this before, I'm going to say Spider-Man, the first one, is the best Spider-Man movie of all time. It is the best. Spider-Man 2 is just incredible. The way he's battling Dr. Octavius. Dr. Octavius just trying to do this experiment that ends badly. The experiment, his mind, the octopus, got into his head and basically controlled him, was incredible. Him losing his powers, him having to overcome so much responsibility, is just an incredible movie. The train sequence in particular, amazing. And yeah, overall, this is an amazing movie. I really love this movie. This is perfect to me. And I stand by that this is one of the best Spider-Man movies of all time. So there you guys go. That are my final rankings. Any changes I want to do before wrap up? You know what? I think I'm going to put, as much as I want to put this in great, maybe I'll put this one and top of good, because the first half wasn't the best in my opinion, but second half was amazing. So I think I'll round off to good. So overall, man, those are my rankings for the Spider-Man movies. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Where did I get it right? Where did I miss, guys? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know your rankings in the comments below, and remember, guys, like and subscribe. Let me know your guys' thoughts, and remember, guys, to join us on Saturday as we're gonna be discussing all the Spider-Man movies in detail, of course, at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Discuss the movie. So I look forward to seeing you guys there, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.